As we're going to discuss about Paul Adom Otchere ne ho aka because wakoka asembia to Dr. Tony Aubynn so Dr. Tony Aubynn esan mranimni enti waye na dwen se nyaade a obeja ma Paul Adom Otchere ede nanim atwitwi form. That is something I really like about Dr. Tony Aubynn. Waye adwuma na ma in fact mani age Dr. Tony Aubynn has been one of the key NDC members emfani niagro NDC for ewa adwuma ye enti senia mokano saana ese ye no NDC for yewo adwuma eye because Paul Adom Otchere is becoming one of the few journalists in Ghana ase nkwasi asem kan ye ne de kakra okasa onwe ho o keka nsem na basa utimi accuse obi no akofa nima bi che ne utimi se ade papa ye obi ho a won hyeda ntia but that is something that why na be say ono oye edi egu obi ho efi but Dr. Tony Otchere say dabi Dr. Tony Aubynn, sorry, actually say enyade a obetena ase ama odi nanim atwitwi form. Ebiem so me do beko Metro TV, Good Morning Ghana, and live on the show, armed policemen storming Metro. Eyo ma some person mo bowuram ne yakwa koduso so akohwe se din potin ene de sa ansem no nyina ekọ so that is something eya beka ho e Ghana. Ghana ye ya te say school na yakọ no apply school no as Jimmy nko na yete wa as ye Jimmy e wo man no. All right, inti em fa ho say wajimi wa ko school ye lawyer we dey wajimi that is something as a Ghana AI police for so me ye ho say Ghana police so ni here so be mo kwens kakra bi and also man no mu di wachi whatever they tell them to go and do no omo apply common sense. That is something we also need to discuss. And a court so am a judgment between Ghana court system so no mo problem people. Unti sa anima nya no moving forward see ntimi addresses anima we nyina man no na yes say no man no and yes say no na sani American no Dr. Tony Aubynn but Dr. Tony Aubynn he is my good friend. I like Dr. Tony Aubynn because Dr. Tony Aubynn actually na yene ne Finland ansana owie school Dr. Eko Ghana akobo adwuma na Dr. Tony Aubynn na me no ka say oyo hene osan eye lawyer oye mranimni Dr. Enyini Paketo. Before I know Dr. Tony Aubynn together with Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia against the NPP, no much about international conferences that we need to meet there. So I know Dr. Tony Aubynn very well. So he's a perfect gentleman. Dr. Nkasakwa. So I was shocked to say, Paul Adom Otchere, it's me tina TV, so ASC or good Dr. Tony Aubynn anymase. But you could see clearly from Paul Adom Otchere say, I say, what targeted Dr. Tony Aubynn as a person. Sada no odwen ho a onti ase. Pepa cho yenko na yenhwe that particular video Paul Adom Otchere eyeti a Dr. Tony Aubynn.
The Bar Association condemns and not done press statements. I believe the MPP condemns and not done press statements. And not done press is just a statement. He ought to be cautioned. Tony Aubynn was directly urging the people to go and do galamsey. Civil society said they have not heard it because he's a member of the opposition. Because all civil society are opposition and everybody doesn't like Akufo-Addo because Akufo-Addo is this, Akufo-Addo is that. He thinks his father was president. He thinks he knows. He thinks. The man won 1 million votes. You were sitting down. Did you win 1 million votes with him? You were sitting down. And somehow, because of hatred for Akufo-Addo, they don't want to mention Tony Aubynn. Is that how to develop a country? Is that how to build a country? We can't build a country like that. Let's build a country with honesty. All of those who call themselves leaders, we are news reporters. We are not leaders. We are news reporters. We are here to report the story. And we are here to look at the thesis, the synthesis, the antithesis. And we shall never renege on that. If you look at the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis of galamsey, this man should be called out by everybody who is looking at the analysis correctly. How can a man like this, a very important person in the mining sector, a lawyer, go and stand and tell galamsey people that if we win the election, you can come and continue your galamsey. And then Ghana Water comes to complain about galamsey, and the first person they talk about is the lands minister. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? This is the problem with our civil society people. Those who say they are civil society, this is the problem. This is the problem. The pastors who are talking about galamsey, the most Reverend Ajenasari. Have you heard Tony Aubynn? He's a member of the party that you sympathize with. And there's no problem with a pastor sympathizing with any political party. Even America's pastor, Billy Graham, sympathized with the Republican Party. So there's no problem with that. But if you are a pastor, you are sympathizing with a political party, you ought to know that your integrity is first. In terms of the analysis, maybe Adom hasn't heard it. I can understand that. He's a pastor, he's busy, he's managing a big church. Maybe he hasn't heard it. But now we've played the video, you've seen it. Tony Aubynn, that's what he told. Play the video for me again. And Tony Aubynn is the second speaker. Play the video again.
You watched Dr. Tony Aubynn's picture. Paul Adom Otchere at their Tony screen so. I know say wow you might be wondering say Dr. Tony Aubynn on the way. On any papa gentleman and not Paul Adom Otchere then not Tony picture so no. The screen so. Enti Paul Adom Otchere nanka say be catch say obey video Dr. Tony Aubynn insert time for say megalem say enti pa chop video na say Dr. Tony Aubynn in a gina ho no ana say na nipa foforo bi. That is something I want us to address. Over here, I'm going to show you the picture. You will see, say, Paul Adom Otchere. I show Dr. Tony Aubynn picture clear. And this is Paul Adom Otchere person Otchere say picture na da hono. Say nipa korona no gina video no mukasa. I'll be very surprised. Let me go back and then we watch it once again.
A lawyer. Go and stand and tell Galamsey people that if we win the election, you can come and continue your Galamsey. And then Ghana Water comes to complain about Galamsey, and the first person they talk about is the lands minister. Where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? This is the problem with our civil society people. Those who say they are civil society, this is the problem. This is the problem. The pastors who are talking about Galamsey, the most Reverend Adom. Have you heard Tony Aubynn? He's a member of the party that you sympathize with. And there's no problem with a pastor sympathizing with any political party. Even America's pastor, Billy Graham, sympathized with the Republican Party. So there's no problem with that. But if you are a pastor, you are sympathizing with a political party, you ought to know that your integrity is first. In terms of the analysis, maybe Adom hasn't heard it. I can understand that. He's a pastor, he's busy, he's managing a big church. Maybe he hasn't heard it. But now we've played the video, you've seen it. Tony Aubynn, that's what he told. Play the video for me again. And Tony Aubynn is the second speaker. Play the video again.
Said the land in this year. Obeka, Namebua, after on the 11th, on the 7th, and she say, at the mom, because on one of us I got now. Said the Bay Union, no Bray, or my Jumata Clay. Which would be not a Philippi. Now, so that's why I was 1 month out of Kakoheim. Now, so the Abba Yaguma. Now, so do Chromo call for Friday. Eddie, and 2 Quaco to Abana, a John Daman Mahama, a 2 diet. Yeah, Galamsey, Ghana Betu Galamsey. And I do one I no so see in another vanguard for no that for. And the players are crackers say, Yatu Abaya, Mubesa, Vanguard in Mukina. Yayan say, Emma by when the good man on the 7th, on the 8th, on the 9th. Yabana Mahama in Mumramba.
Pepacho, video, the second person or Casano. You could clearly see, say, when you're Dr. Tony Aubynn. So Dr. Tony Aubynn did not even feature in the second person, Paul Adom Otchere Ekano. You could see, say, Nipana or Kassan, and yet Dr. Tony Aubynn. A patch of Yan Santo video. So yet, Paul Adom Otchere, you see in the platform, at the chabo, Dr. Tony Aubynn, Utimu, I say, Papa, now person or say any DKK. Simple as that.
And now, Mecano, Yami Adom. This is Yami Buana Mutama John Dramani Mahama. Namutama Abubakar Sadika. Namusi said, Your Mama Adin Kunim. I got a Sadis Adin Kunim. That's the difference one. Muya Majuma. Namu so you will see her. So I have a Kasama. Musi who. If you are Tremor, Mayan Tuabano, never Moya Mohubai. Vanguard no Omunguno. Vanguard no Edaso. About 20 no my day. In my money, I knew who Tamana Vanguard day. Oh, if you are Tremor, get that Chabaton a day. Get a massy.
Tony Aubynn, you heard him, viewers. You heard him. Very decent man. Very, very decent man. Very knowledgeable. Very intellectual. That's what he said. On the altar of politics. That's why I say that politics can destroy. On the altar of politics, wanting to show that he's the largest person under the umbrella, he told the Galamseyers that you should go, if we win the election, you are going to do your Galamsey. And this was to gain votes in 2020. Now, go and look at the vote tally in 2020. The New Patriotic Party lost the election in all the Galamsey areas. That's why Barbara Otchere is not in parliament. But Otchere is not in parliament. That's why Mreku Duka nearly lost. Because the MPP lost all the Galamsey areas because the Galamsey people were aware that Tony Aubynn told them that if the NDC were to win, they will continue with Galamsey. So they voted for the NDC. You can't blame them for that. They are doing their work. And the work is illegal, but that's how they survive. And Dr. Bawumia recently promised the Galamsey people a new way of working. He talked about a mining loan, mining profile, mining this, mining that. And they seem to be excited about it because you have to give them something to take them away from the pit because they are Ghanaians and they are entitled to a livelihood. But they cannot have a livelihood that is destroying water for the rest. What do sociologists say? The greatest good for the greatest number of people. That's what sociologists say. Every good, the greatest of it all, how we determine that a good is great is that that good is serving the greatest number of people. That's what they say, the greatest good for the greatest number of people. It's in anthropology as well. So the people are entitled to a livelihood, aren't they? They are Ghanaians, but can they continue to destroy the water for their livelihood? No, they cannot. So that's the point we are making. That Muhammadu Bawumia went to them and gave them something else. They seemed excited about it. Our report is that the Galamsey areas are excited about Muhammadu Bawumia's policy for them. And so, in September, civil society has been whipped to say that MPP is responsible for Galamsey. They should show us that they can do the Galamsey. They should take the soldiers to go and beat the Galamsey people. Yes, they may have to put some force in there, but the hypocrisy must be dealt with. First, deal with Tony Aubynn, because if you take the soldiers there now, Tony Aubynn will go and tell them that vote for NDC. When we vote for NDC, you do Galamsey. So they will be hiding away from the soldiers, waiting to vote for NDC, and that they will do Galamsey. Now, we should ask, what is the MPP's policy on Galamsey? What is the NDC's policy on Galamsey? Since the last 10 days, when the Galamsey story started, have you heard John Dramani Mahama speak about what he will do with Galamsey? They should ask him. He's the opposition leader. He's a former president under whose jurisdiction Aisha Wan did all the dirty that she did to Ghana. Everything Aisha Wan did.
Ghana, sometimes I've been wondering, say, Kenyans are some chiruniana on Tiasia. Na say atemdidie na nipa na betiase I have no idea. Paul Adom, you could see in this particular video say, hey, Dr. Tony Aubynn papa targeting. Yet in the video, no, Paul Adom knows that Dr. Tony Aubynn did not feature in the video. Yet he took his picture and then attacking him personally from A to Z, from A to Z. That is what Paul Adom did. Then he is jumping, say, hey, NDC time, and Aisha Wan, started to say, Galamsey. I better again any. I call out 8 years. Him say, and the NPP yachi Aisha Wan. Emma or suffer mouth for the catcher say, Omuntimi nya Aisha Wan way because Omoko Pesika or China Omunya. It is only in Ghana the problem bar. A baby tia kumyasu 8 years yet. You get seasoned journalists beat Paul Adom attacking the opposition at 8 years ago. I don't even get it. Maybe you have mentioned that. So am I a fool? And as some people are foolish in Ghana who mentioned that here. Oh, see Obi money home more than 8 years ago. Utu nipano. Osaiba next election. Osai catch and say oh money home more than yes I to Obetiano. Yet every opportunity you get to complain, people complain in the society. No. Now who this house born ekwa boss aba and that in Krofo. Mentioned that here. Yato Obama 8 years, 2 terms for president. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo any Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say, hey, yeah, the Ghana shall want to govern Ghana and make Ghana better. When Timmy and yet. Nana Addo Nankasa saw for the catcher say, Nana Addo backyard, when you couldn't you took Galamsey or Nana Addo and Timmy refuse to say, you know, and I say, you know, yet Paul Adom gets the opportunity and then accuses NDC and John Dramani Mahama. Say it is rather John Mahama and in fact policy, is John Mahama the president? John Mahama is not the president. Nobody gives taxes to John Mahama. Taxes near the ma Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and then another Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Paul Adom I know, I don't fault you because you are defending your position. You are more human and then you are getting something. And you know, say NDC bar would they go to prosecute too. That is why you're doing all these kind of things. You know. Say Ghana Airport Company who see moje. Wouldn't say NDC bar you be prosecute too. So you are doing everything possible to defend yourself. Say the young found to prison. John Mahama na ubone sobono. Ono ne kosi sa teme na train na yama kwa board chairman da hono. With me cut off flower a bugana for fasono. You know all these kind of things. Yet, what targeted Dr. Tony Aubynn was very known. Said Dr. Tony Aubynn is nowhere in that picture or in that video. He was nowhere to be found. But surprisingly, no, Dr. Tony Aubynn, through his lawyers, actually letter to come up Paul Adom Otchere say, hey, video na we the meaning be. Menka ho, do your checks well. Entino, brana be pa mecho, na nsema wakagu mu nyina firo Paul Adom Otchere say menka. Ose wonka. When the young trust in atempa Paul Adom Otchere edi Dr. Tony Aubynn, knowing very well say Dr. Tony Aubynn, I was saying lawyer, or your hene any video num. Paul Adom Otchere knows very well. When the young trust in the Paul Adom Otchere, chapa o chabo papa we.
Did to Heads Ghana was done when John Dramani Mahama was president of the Republic. Shouldn't the media be asking John Dramani Mahama questions? That have you heard that Aisha Wan is being prosecuted based on things she did when you were president? Were you aware that she was doing these things? If you become president again, what policy would you put in place so that the likes of Aisha Wan will not be able to exist and strive? Are we asking John Mahama that question? Or civil society is designed just to fight Akufo-Addo? Civil society is designed to fight Akufo-Addo. Then, when you are listening to the news, something that has nothing to do with auditing, then they say that also on the phone is the former Auditor General, Dom Levo. Then he's talking about something that he doesn't even understand. He's an auditor, he's a chartered accountant. Now they call him for everything anti-Akufo-Addo. They call Dom Levo. What kind of practice is this? What kind of practice is this? Everything. Dom Levo is answering questions on law.
Very
Dom
stupid.
Levo is asking questions on Supreme Court proceedings.
Very stupid talk here. Very foolish talk. I didn't expect this to come from somebody like Paul Adom Otchere. Paul Adom Otchere, I say, so you're auditor there, you can't be a lawyer. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, you're accountant, you can't be a lawyer. And you can't be an economist. Almost very, very childish talk. Very, very childish talk. Very, very childish talk. And these are the people like Ghana for Nyada, GTO, good evening, Ghana, Naman for it. Yet the guy talks as if he's a class 1 equivalent to me. When you read Dr. Tony Aubynn's profile, you'll be shocked that Dr. Tony Aubynn is a lawyer because he in school, it had nothing to do with law. But Dr. Tony Aubynn is a lawyer. It is if you see Dr. Tony Aubynn, the former chief executive officer of Ghana Minerals Commission, that's what I'm saying. To the court to them. Can you say I don't know where you can minerals as ma or now say Gina court as DSM? No. I would have done Ghana pa Shama Ghana say. Me, I have a law background, I have international relations background, and I have tourism background. It is a China to me say make tourism asem, and I make law asem, and I make international relations asem. You cannot tell me say I don't know you. That is childish talk because I've taken my time to study. My shit out school baby. I have different fields that make me approaching Niyama from different angles. But Paul Adom Otchere is telling us, you cannot do that. Ghana. Hey.
Procedure. Dom Levo is asking questions on political legitimacy. Dom Levo is asking questions or answering questions on everything that they think will generate something against Akufo-Addo. Dom Levo is there. So the whole civil society is against Akufo-Addo, and they have reneged on their responsibility to be a true civil society for the enforcement of the 1992 Constitution. It is for the enforcement of the 1992 Constitution. Tony Aubynn, let's start with him. If you jump Tony Aubynn, then you have not done any service to Ghana. Because that's what he said. He said it. That the people should do the galamsey. And they should vote for NDC. And that if they vote for NDC and they do the galamsey, NDC will come and allow them to do their work. That's what an intelligent man told galamseyers, so that they will get votes. Did they get the votes? Yes, they did. They did. Go to all the galamsey areas. NDC won everywhere. And that's what they've started again. Government should take the soldiers there. Clamp down galamsey makers. Tony Aubynn will go there in the night. He will wear his beautiful, expensive Lacoste like you saw him wearing. And his very nice spectacles. A very nice man. He will go there and go and speak fancy with them. And tell them that, hey, won't he? Azeno, galamsey no obeye. Into one to Obama John Dramani Mahama. You heard him say it. 8, 9, this. Vote for John Dramani Mahama. And then Tony Aubynn will come and help them to do the galamsey. Because John Dramani Mahama is president. This is how he wants to benefit from galamsey. He wants to benefit from galamsey by NDC being elected. Show me another politician who has said that. You won't find. You will find Tony Aubynn, and civil society say that they haven't seen it, they haven't heard it. What kind of Ghana are we building? What kind of Ghana are we building? You may not like Akufo-Addo. Me too. I don't like Kutu Achampong. But you can't take away from Kutu Achampong what he has done. Some people don't like Dr. Liman, but you can't take from Dr. Liman what he has done. Some people don't like J.J. Rawlings. A large number of people don't like J.J. Rawlings, but you can't take away from some. You may not like Akufo-Addo. But Godfrey Dami has showed you the statistics that in this Fourth Republic, no government has prosecuted on Galamsey than Akufo-Addo's government. You can't take that away from him. What you can take away from him is Tony Aubynn. Tony Aubynn is the one you can take. Tony Aubynn is the one you should be dealing with. As for Akufo-Addo, he has given you the details of what he has done with Galamsey. Bema Beyebi, one he tried to do his best. The Galamsey is a very complicated situation. But you have people like Tony Aubynn who are festering it underneath and hiding in the bush to go and talk to Galamseyers and tell them that they should come and do the Galamsey, because when they do the Galamsey, they will not do anything to them if John Dramani Mahama is president. No civil society, no media is questioning John Dramani Mahama. That Aisha-Wan, everything Aisha-Wan did was done in your tenure. She's now been convicted. Have you seen it? What is your reaction to the fact that Aisha-Wan has been convicted? Given that everything Aisha-Wan did was done in 2013, 14, 15, when you, John Dramani Mahama, was president of Ghana. Now it makes sense, that is it. Because Tony Aubynn, who is a bona fide member of the NDC, is telling the Galamseyers this for 2020's election. He should be arrested. Should be arrested and questioned by the police.
It's very surprising. Say Paul Adom, one will say, "I can't see the point he is trying to make." Say Paul Adom is calling for Dr. Tony Aubynn's arrest. Ghana pana kromfo ti bi gida say ono kwachi obi onye kromfo say yan kwachi obi onye kromfo. Paul Adom on live television telling the whole nation, say Dr. Lawyer Tony Aubynn must be arrested. Paul Adom of all people. And Paul Adom is telling Ghanaians, say, Aisha-Wan was arrested and prosecuted and imprisoned because of activities in 2012, 2013, 2014, which you know is a lie. Paul Adom knows it's a lie. Aisha-Wan prison order and China side by Ura Mayuno. Our best activities, and that is why Aisha-Wan is in prison. Paul Adom knows because time Aisha-Wan under your administration now, send it back to China because China Aisha-Wan was not prosecuted. Mujain told Ghanaians they are not going to prosecute Aisha-Wan because China or and Aisha-Wan said, Ghana started activity. That is when they get hold of Aisha-Wan, they prosecuted her. But Paul Adom is deceiving the whole nation, say, and the NDC's administration, they prosecuting her. Oh, Nipa Bonini. My no, I say, Obi to me share that foul. Now, paint you black. I wouldn't be surprised to see Dr. Tony Aubynn tomorrow say he become the next president of Ghana, because I know him personally. He's a fine gentleman. On Pekululu, on Pazan, on Pekrono. Until when Dr. Tony Aubynn is a president, I know. That video, there was nowhere Dr. Tony Aubynn. But let's watch the video once again.
Me again. And Tony Aubynn is the second speaker. Play the video again.
Obehu said the land in this year. Obeka.
Epacho Kwakubuahen of NDC is the first person. Then the second person will come. It was nowhere near Dr. Tony Aubynn. Paul Adom said the second speaker is Tony Aubynn. Epacho Kwakubuahen of NDC is the first speaker. The second speaker will come. Epacho Yinayemwe.
Namebua after on the 11th, on the 7th, and she say, at the mom, because on one of us I got now. Said the Bay Union animal blade or my Jumata Clay. Which would be not a Philippi. Now, so that's how I was 1 month out of Kakoheim. Now, so the Abba Yaguma. Now, so do Chromo call for Friday. Eddie, and 2 Quaco to Abana, a John Daman Mahama, a 2 diet. Yeah, I'm saying,
this is the second speaker. And here say Dr. Tony Aubynn or that picture is what.
And I do not hear no see in another vanguard for no and the players are crackers say, Yatua Baria, Mubesha, vanguard in Mukina. Yayans now say, am I by when the good man on the 7th, on the 8th, on the 9th. Yabana Mahama in Mumramba.
video you must say and yet Dr. Tony Aubynn, he was nowhere near that scene. But I'm surprised that Paul Adom will single him out and then tarnish his image. Now you have more opportunity to say, hey, somehow can Enyamia come and retract or say because you feel big. If you say court in your car or bravo net into movie amount. Anyway, Dr. Tony Aubynn at the Paul Adom Otchere Akojina court. I see you 30 million Ghana cedis. 30 million Ghana cedis. Or match the video num. Baby potia who say or no Tony Aubynn ejina video num. Baby potia wo Paul Adom Otchere who say or no Dr. Tony Aubynn ejina video num no. Or say bra na bechere no. Nti ene or na ko jina sem ne say omra no mechere no because on jina video bi am baby a na wo wa fasa video no e de dinatem Ghana politics baby e de do no asem bi wo kora woni mo hwe na obi a sheda apekiwo say or say wudi because they know say Dr. Tony Aubynn betima be running mate and say vice president or president of Ghana nti odi kan say na no da kwato internet so nti o chena wo ba no nko yi ano a na say the same way e na bebo atia. But the doctor say, why are they? Look, why are they? I call we go there. When you need it, you say children in Yansa. Ko one children in Yansa, obey no to say, we in Yansa for. Men and the cousin will see Jimmy Quasia, Boo Quasia, and ya. In this alternative Quasia, a boo Quasia, ya. In the end of that honor, almost a baby crop in that said video, no. Who said Dr. Tony Aubynn, General, bra, never you are no. Sometimes, giant kwasiafo on the house because NDC no pe NDC eba power. Enti Paul, what the power o to kurubim kwashe. Wo Paul Adom Otchere wo ye live show and now for girl abet na wachi. Kevin Taylor yin live video me yin hu ye. Wo ye live show on Metro Good Evening Ghana no. Now girlfriend eto wachi now ye de fie. So wo never be gina wasa wo yan kwache koromfo. All right, 1 hour with Munufie. Yan tiase se obi amegu ndisi ni bia ho fi o da bi. Wo ye be teoto. Yan tena se mo amegu ndisi ni bi ho fi because wo fi se corona wa boy be chi unti no wo doje. As the cake could go be a wonim se nipa na or kasa video no nipa no has no idea enyo ono a. See, anyway, let's move on. Na school there. Time pepe Jimmy. What Jimmy a